Alive, but it's a little bit later than normal. We are live. It's 8 o'clock today because we had a charity event today that we had to attend. We're done. We got a new hat. Check out our store. We have hats and shirts and anything else you need. Every week when we come on here, we talk about the comics that we bought for the week. We have a very large pile this week. It's super huge. At the end of it, you can guess how much it cost. Here is the pile. Oh, let's get rid of the bag. Here's the pile that we got this week. We go through the comics that we bought. We talk a little bit about each one. You guys comment. Let us know what you think about what we bought. It's fun. We have a good time each week when we do this. Simultaneously on TikTok tonight. I'm trying something different. That's another reason why we're a little bit late. But you know what? Without further ado, let's jump into it. We bought a lot of independents this week. First one we bought was Void Rivals number 10. This is Robert Kirkman's Hasbro Universe connection. It's growing and growing over at Image Comics. This kicked it off. This is still going strong. Here's all the variant covers. It's Kirkman at his best. Been awesome to read. Highly recommend picking it up. The next thing is another universe that's being built over at Image, the Universal Monsters universe. This one is Creature from the Black Lagoon number 3. So they are building the universe. Some of these variant covers that they have, I gotta start looking for them in the back issue bin. I'm gonna try to buy some more of these as time passes by, but I'm looking forward to more of these. I'm a huge fan of the Universal Monsters, so I am highly recommending this one too. Let's stick with the horror. Army of Darkness Forever, number 9. Tony Fleeks, who we interviewed about 2 months ago on the show, is writing this. It's been absolutely wonderful. This is the first comic book I read each week when it comes out. So I will be reading this as soon as this episode is over. Art is by Popman. It's World Tree, another Image series. It's kind of like a futuristic crime noir. It's by James Tynion II. Great comic. Oh, it's adult themed, so it's not for the kids. There's nudity, sometimes actually rather graphic. There's graphic violence. This is not for everyone, but it has been good. Tony Fleeks doesn't have 1, but 2 issues, and this is absolutely wonderful. It's feral. It's about cats during the zombie apocalypse, and they're cute as anything, but they fight zombies. It follows his last thing, which was strays, which was dogs that fought vampires. This is cats that fight zombies. I don't know what Tony's going to do next, but as soon as he does, we will be there to talk to him about it. My favorite book this year is Blue Book. Blue Book 1947. This is about alien abductions, and it's taken directly from actual NASA papers. James Tynion is also writing this, and Michael Avon Oeming is doing the art. Michael Avon Oeming was on our show about a month ago. If you missed the episode, check it out. He is a great guy, tells a great story about how he got into comics. This is definitely something you should be reading. There was another one before this. It takes place in the 1960s. This is fantastic. I actually bought the trade for my wife to read, and she never reads comics, but she saw me reading this and she was interested. More Monsters. Monsters Are My Business, Dark Horse. Haven't started reading it yet, but I love Cullen Bunn's work. I read his last series that spun out of this. It's great. If you like monsters, you will love this. Some great art in there too. Definitely check it out. Dark Horse. Cullen Bunn is a local guy, so he actually pops up at our store sometimes. So this is Independence this month. A lot more than last month. I do buy Independence. I do not only buy Marvel and DC, but I do buy Marvel and DC. So here is DC's big kickoff event. Started this week. It is Absolute Power. This is the first issue. Absolute Power Ground Zero. This is their big summer crossover event. It's going to cross over into a number of different comics. I believe there is a list in here somewhere. It goes over all the different things. Here is the tie-ins for the next couple of months. it's playing off of what's been going on in Superman with Brainiac and in Batman with the Zor-Zor robot. So it continues with some kind of robotic theme. Definitely pick this up. If you missed this, make sure you go tomorrow, get it from the thing. Another series that kicked off this week is Black Label Zatanna. Really looking forward to this. Big fan of Zatanna. And now that the Black Label is regular size and not the big size as they originally were, I am all in on this one. You guys should be too. Power Girl 10. This is a crossover for the House of Brainiac. It's being written by Leah Williams. House of Brainiac is wrapping up soon. There's a couple of issues this week that are House of Brainiac. This, Power Girl, Superman, which is being written by Joshua Williams, and Action Comics, which is also being written by Joshua Williams. The thing I'm really liking about this, and I've been reading it every week, is Lobo's race is reintroduced. At one point, Lobo was 1 or 2. His daughter was also a member. They're the Caesarians. They were the only ones left, but now a whole group of them came out of Brainiac's miniaturized planets. So it's been really interesting to see all the different Caesarians. I'm guessing at some point that Lobo's going to try to kill all of them, so he's the only one again. That's the 3 issues that cross over that. So if you're reading that, you have to cross over that. Penguin number 11. This is Tom King's continuation of his Batman run. This is really, really good too. It's the Penguin has been taking on his children, his twins, and see where it takes you. Joshua Williamson, who's writing the Superman, is also writing Green Arrow. I read the last 5 issues this past week. It's really, really good. It tells a really good story about how life is as Green Arrow, basically. It's not as superhero-y as other comics. It's more like his real life and how he keeps his group together. Like he's a lesser version of the Batman family. So if you were a fan of Green Arrow or you were a fan of the show Arrow, check that out. Speaking of the Batman family, Detective Comics number 1086. This is written by Ram V. He's still battling the Joker, and other villains are popping in. The Batman, the other series that goes on, just wrapped up the Zor-Zor thing, so this is continuing. And here's my big issue of the week. It's, I'm a Flash fan. Flash number 10. This is Raymond Perez's cover. I got all of the variant covers. This is Matt Taylor's cover. Love the back of this. Can't wait to buy this. This is Otto Schmidt's cover. I get all the variant covers for the Flash. And this is the Pride cover. It's by Nick Robles. Cool. I love the Flash covers. I try to get every single one. That is my DC haul this month. Much bigger than it was last month. There it is. There's all the titles. Bunch of Flash. Not that one. That. So let's put this. Bunch of titles. I'm assuming I'll be getting all the Absolute Zero crossovers. Absolute Zero is... No, sorry. Yeah, Absolute Power. Ground Zero. Absolute Power is DC's crossover event. Marvel's crossover event, which is way into itself already, is Blood Hunt. It's up to issue 4 already, and a ton of crossovers. I haven't missed any yet. I've been reading it. It's a really good story. The guy behind who's driving the vampires was a great surprise. I'm not sure how it's going to end. This is issue number 4. This is the red band version of issue number 4, and what that means is there's a regular issue, there's a red band issue. The red band issue has a lot more gore in it. So it's adult, not for kids. It has gore in it. Marvel is actually moving forward with more red band type comics. I guess they're selling really well, so they're going to do some more adult-oriented ones. Crossovers this week for the Blood Hunt is Union Jack the Ripper number 2. I'm a big fan of Jack the Ripper, of Union Jack, not Jack the Ripper, of Union Jack because he was a member of the Invaders. This continues his story. The next one is X-Men Magic Blood Hunt number 1. This is X-Men's first crossover into the Blood Hunt series. Also this week, we are continuing the Skottie Young Big Marvels covers, so I bought a bunch of those. I do read what I buy, Someone asked that recently. I read what I buy, but I also buy some variant covers that I like from certain artists. Black Widow and Hawkeye #4. That's the big Marvels one. Daredevil #10. Love his Daredevil. Have a t-shirt upstairs of it. Jackpot and Black Cat #4. Midnight Suns. This is actually a Blood Hunt. Midnight Suns Blood Hunt #2. Great Blade cover. Thanos Annual #1. Stay tuned next week. I'm going to actually unveil a new Skottie Young hat that I got. So next week's Skottie Young hat. Thanos Annual #1. Moon Knight #6. This is also a Blood Hunt crossover. X-Men '97. That's a great looking Storm. This is issue #4. And the final issue I bought this week is Helverine #2. It has been good. I'm looking for. This is going to be red. This is a red band too. This is good. This is going to be a red band. As I said, they're doing more and more red band. And last but not least, Ultimate Black Panther #5. This first issue saw at a convention this past weekend. Still selling for $25, $30. It's great. Check out on Saturday. We're gonna our episode goes up about Garden State Comic Fest. There was a booth there, and that booth had probably close to at least $500,000 in comic books. Some of the biggest keys that you could possibly imagine were there. Also picked up the monthly list of what's coming out, and I tagged a couple of things that I thought everyone would find interesting, including myself. Look at these through the years variant covers. Going to have to pick every one of these up. They are awesome looking. I'm not sure why there's 2 Superman ones, 2 Batman ones, how they do through the years, but this is great. Looking forward to that. And also tagged Plastic Man is back in a series. I am a Plastic Man fan. Glad to see he's coming back. I don't think Plastic Man is used nearly enough. Check out our episode where we talked about Plastic Man and whether he's a pervert or not. Actually, I did 50 facts about Plastic Man. And here's the Marvel version. Did a couple of notes in this as well. I am a fan of the Disney Marvel covers. This happens to be my favorite Avengers cover. Anytime I go to a convention and I see this, I buy it. I have about 3 or 4 versions already. If it's nicely priced. If it's too expensive, I pass on it, but usually I find it in dollar bin. This is great. Also a huge fan of Dazzler. This ties into how I'm going to end this episode. Someone asked me who my 5 favorite Marvel characters are. So at the end of this episode, I will talk about who my 5 favorite Marvel characters are. Dazzler has a new series coming out. I wonder why. Why would Dazzler have a new series? Oh, I don't know. Maybe who we're going to play her in the movie. Avengers of Battling Aliens. That should be monumental. That's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that. But that's not it. The Black Panther is battling the Predator. I love that Marvel is tying in that 20th Century Fox universe into their comic book universe. It is at the top of the list of things for me right now, to be honest with you. Here's that Werewolf by Night. It's going to be red band, so it's going to be adult-oriented. Hopefully it's based somewhat on the movie. And finally, what was the last thing I tagged? Oh, Deathlock is 50 years old, so they're doing a Deathlock special. I just bought, if you watch on Saturday, you see I bought the famous Captain America cover with Deathlock on it. I actually got it out of a dollar bin. Great issue. So that's the haul for the week and some tips on what's coming up. Here's the haul. Now let's do a quick, well actually let's do, you guys guess how much I spent while I talk about my 5 favorite Marvel characters. Here's my top 5 going from 5 all the way to 1. Number 5 is a weird one. It's Jack of Hearts. I've always been a fan of Jack of Hearts. I think one of the first comic books I bought on my own was a Marvel 2-in-1, and it had Jack of Hearts in it, so I've always been a fan. He's been gone for a little while, but he's been dating She-Hulk, so he's been appearing in the She-Hulk series. He's number 5. Number 4, Beta Ray Bill. When Beta Ray Bill became Thor, it was a big event for me as a kid when I was collecting Thor at the time, and it blew me away that they had someone else take the Thor mantle and it wasn't a human. Stuck with me my whole life. Had never missed the issue of Beta Ray Bill. Number 3, a more common one, The Thing. I love The Thing. I'm a Fantastic Four fan. If you've been watching us long enough, you know I'm trying to finish a Fantastic Four run. Waiting for someone to buy me issue number 1. Hopefully it's my partner in crime, Brian, but you never know. Number 2, She-Hulk. I've been a fan of She-Hulk for a long time. I'm not sure really why. There's no real explanation. I'm not a huge Hulk fan, but I'm a big She-Hulk fan, so I have all the original run. I have some from the Sensational She-Hulk, all of Savage She-Hulk, and I've been collecting the last couple of ones that for some reason start and end like that. It goes 12 issues and then they start a whole new series. That bothers me. If you notice, everything that I bought today was like issue 20 or less. There's no consistency anymore. I should do a whole episode on that. And finally, my number 1 favorite Marvel character is Iron Fist, and he's been my favorite character for a long time. And the reason why he's my favorite character is because as a kid growing up, I grew up I went to school. I was in a predominantly black neighborhood. I grew up, so most of my friends growing up were black kids, and Power Man and Iron Fist, that relationship always struck a chord with me because my best friend growing up was just like Luke Cage, and I always envisioned myself as Iron Fist. That's why he's my favorite. So now let's look at how much I spent. I don't know where the receipt. Up here it is. What do you think? Guess. What do you think I spent this week? Holy shit, I spent a lot. I'm surprised my wife didn't murder me. $146. That's the most we have spent so far in the last 2 years in a single week. I am definitely ending up divorced. If anybody has an empty place for me to stay, please comment because I'm in trouble. Thanks for sticking with us every week. Sorry that we were late this week. We had something to do. Next week is July 4th. We will be late again, possibly at 8 or 9 o'clock. Definitely not at 6 o'clock again. So if you are a regular watching us when we're live, please look out for us later in the week. Thanks for watching. Love what you collect. Collect what you love. We really appreciate you guys. Share this with all your friends. Let's grow this community even bigger. See you next week.